There are many different ways to be successful.
Well, let's go. Keep your hand. Everybody here together.
Michael Jordan did it with a force of will that carried the Bulls to 6 NBA championships.
Go ahead! The Bulls win it! They win it!
Once you win, who wants to lose?
Yao Ming's abilities transcended borders and changed the NBA forever.
Yowza! Yowza!
What do you remember about your head-to-head meetings?
That is not really head-to-head.
The biggest launch in software history.
In the business arena, Steve Ballmer's vision as CEO helped make Microsoft into one of the world's premier technology companies.
When I was in business, I felt like I could dive into anything and go fix it.
One more time louder!
They are all enormously successful, and they took different paths to get there, but these days, they've arrived at a common intersection. Michael Jordan, Yao Ming, and Steve Ballmer have each taken on another challenge as owners of professional basketball teams.
Your competitive juices are always flowing. It doesn't change in any other business.
And now they've come together to share the secrets of their success inside the boardroom.
As a fan, I'm sitting here in heaven.
All three of you were superstars in your first careers. What led you to decide to become owners of basketball teams? Michael?
You know, it's one of those things that just kind of stumbled into it. You know, once I left basketball and I started getting on the operational side, you know, Washington. And then that didn't end well. So from that point on, I said, you know what, the next time I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna have to fire myself.
I want to introduce you to the new majority owner of the Charlotte Bobcats, Michael Jordan.
Would you ask me, 5, 10 years ago, I would be here, with the opportunity to own my basketball team? I would have never believed it, but yet it's a dream come true for me.
My love for the game of basketball was so strong that once I got involved in the management, I felt like I could stay connected to the game, influence the game from a whole different aspect.
Al has told me that Michael always implores him to be aggressive and be the superstar that we all know he can be.
As an owner, how valuable he is as a resource. There's a good vibe with this team here in Charlotte.
So ownership kind of just fell in my lap.
Do we have any Clipper fans here? One more time louder!
I loved basketball since the time I was about 12. I grew up in Detroit, I was a Pistons fan, very enthusiastic. Then when the Clippers came available, I said, I'm in, baby, I'm in.
Nothing gets in our way. Boom! Keep coming hardcore. The hardcore Clippers. That's us.
And now, what about you?
Well, first of all, I can't afford an NBA team, so I bought a CBA. Very interesting because this team have a long history. I've been called Sharks for, it's become 20 years anniversary. My father played for this team. I played for this team before I went to NBA. So they have a very strong connection between me and that team. And I'm very appreciated that I have that opportunity to support this team again.
In Charlotte, one of the things that I really focused on was reconnecting back to the community, because when the Hornets was really at its best, the fans supported.
Look at the crowd at the Hive.
We led the league in attendance for 8 straight years. So it's a basketball-enriched area. But what happened prior to me was there's a disconnect between the community. So we had to go back in and build that respect, build that loyalty, let the community understand that this is your team.
You guys asked, and we delivered. The name, the Hornets, is coming back to Charlotte.
It is a process. I don't think it's any different than when you take on over a business. Now we have to build it from a basketball sense to where we start to win.
The community stuff's important. I talk to Doc all the time. Just taking temperature. I'm not sitting there saying, hey, why don't you do X, Y, or Z, but what do you like? Asking him questions that hopefully help him think things through. And lastly, I'm talking to the players, texting the players, hey, good job. I'm a supporter there. And it helped us at least, really bond over that.
I try to tell myself be a little bit of a handoff. Coach on the front line, they know a lot of things. And I try not jump too much, get out front too much and tell them too much. Have those front office people do their job and make us a little bit easier.
So you let them do their job, but how important is it to be visible to the fans? Do you think that's important?
I think so. The first level of support starts with ownership. And if the fans don't see that, then how are you going to get them to support? So you really have to show that type of support.
Fans want to know that the owner's the #1 fan.
What's the owner? Steve Ballmer. What a fan.
You talk about a guy getting fired up to watch his team. This guy, he's classic.
We talk about how he is, or how he supports us on the road, all that stuff like that. He's an amazing owner.
If the guy who can change things isn't as excited and supportive and enthusiastic, then why the heck should they be?
Ballmer has added a new energy to this franchise.
And I wouldn't have guessed that until I took ownership of the Clippers.
Keep your head. Hey, you doing with the final? Let's go. Keep your head. Everybody get together.
All of you are very competitive.
You are doing good.
How does this owning a basketball team, is it an outlet for your competitiveness?
In some ways, it's frustrating because when we play, we can influence the game a lot of different ways.
Oh, yes, here comes Mike. Oh, what a play.
Your competitive juices are always flowing. But the difference is you live vicariously through the talent that you put on the floor. And for me, it's always been tough because I love the game and I want everybody to play the game with the same type of passion.
Michael challenges and slams.
And when that doesn't happen, I have a tendency to show my emotions a lot more than I probably should.
Is it hard for you, Yao, to sit and watch and not really be able to do anything about the score?
I really have that kind of an itch deep in your heart. Especially when you sit on the sideline and watch some of a play on the court and you want to play for that. You really want to get a sub for my skinny jersey. You have to really strong control yourself to settle down, to maybe talk to a coach or a manager in the office, not in front of everybody. And that took me a year or two to really getting just that.
And Steve, now, it's one thing being a fan and going and cheering the team on. It's got to be different when you're not only a fan, but you own the team.
It is different, but it's different than it is for these guys. When I was in business, if something's not going right, I felt like I could dive into anything and go fix it. I have no such dream on the basketball court. I sit there and say, well, it's not working well today. For me, it's almost a little easier because I sit back and I can be depressed and I can be competitive, but I know there's absolutely nothing I can even dream of doing. And if I was back in the business world, I'd be in micromanaging, I'm afraid.
You won a lot. So all of a sudden, if you have a team that's not really winning, how do you deal with that?
Well, it's a misconception. People think that I won a lot. You gotta realize when I first joined Chicago.
Wait, you want me to read up how many championships you won?
When I first joined Chicago, we hadn't been in the playoffs. So you work your way up where that eliteness happens.
And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
Once you get to the top of the hill, you don't want to go back down that hill, but it's harder to maintain that.
The Chicago Bulls have 3 straight NBA championships.
That means you got to do extra work, you got to stay focused, you got to do all the necessary things to stay on top of the hill.
The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat.
Once you win, who wants to lose? You know, just to lose. You want to maintain that excellence no matter what. That is what I'm trying to establish within my organization based on the way that I like to play.
Griffin.
Oh, went for the hole.
Green's got his 6 seconds. 5, down to 4, down to 3, and a beautiful pass from Draymond Green.
AD looking for 3. Got it! Huge!
This guy is a 5-tool basketball player. He can do it all.
Has the game changed now? There's no real dominant big men anymore. They sort of got to be able to shoot from the outside to make a point.
Hey, look, I think the game has changed for the better. You know, the versatility, it started back with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and it's evolved to be LeBron James, being able to play 4 or 5 different positions. You don't have to have dominance. And, you know, you can have guys who can play multi-positions, switch on defense, shoot from the perimeter, run an up-tempo type of game. You can utilize all your different talent to be successful. I think all that matters.
Throw one thing in there. The magic of the chemistry of teamwork, I would say I underappreciated before I really got involved with the Clippers.
There you go. Hey, Paul, right here. What would you rather wear, man?
Hey, man, they don't get this.
You need the great coaching, the great this, the great that, and it turns out the team still has to come together as a team. How that chemistry really comes together, there's some magic there.
We're in China. That's where we're at. In Beijing, baby!
What do you think of the Great Wall?
It's the best. The Great Wall is the best. I love China.
I mean, I've seen pictures and have heard some of the history and facts about the wall, but to come actually see it, it's unbelievable.
How much passion do you see here in China about the game of basketball?
A strong passion. There's a lot of passion here. It's getting stronger and stronger because I think it's starting to pass on to different players and different generations. Obviously, you see success coming from China. You know, inspires other young players to learn and play the game of basketball.
Yeah, you certainly were a major part of the interest of basketball when you played in the NBA here in China.
The passion in China, I have no question about it.
Who's Yao Ming fans here? Who likes Yao Ming?
We all Yao Ming fans.
Michael or other NBA players visit cause a lot of emergency events. They have an ambulance and all the police car outside there to make sure everything is under control. How we can guide them and put their energy and their passion into basketball. It's our responsibility.
Yep, keep eye contact. There you go. Good job. Good job.
Wo ai long chu. I hope that was close to I love basketball.
Steve, how important are the global games to spread this business of NBA basketball?
I think it's very important. People in China have more access to watch more NBA games, and that's because there is the kind of passion.
Thank you.
I noticed in our game in Shenzhen, Clippers-Hornets game, the fans had a clear appreciation for basketball. When you should have oohed and ahed, the fans were oohing and aahing. For me, I mean, the coolest thing is being in a basketball arena where the energy is high. And I know for the fans, energy breeds energy.
All before they used to get more excited about the dunk, but now you're starting to see passing, different types of movements that gets the fans exciting. That means they're starting to understand all different aspects of the game.
Lynn cut off by DeAndre Jordan. Feeds Jefferson.
Playing a game like the global games in Shenzhen, Shanghai, that's important for continue to prime that pump.
One of the things I keep connecting with fans I learned from NBA is to build that kind of relationship with the society. And in the past, that the player or the team in China just play a game and win game for the fans, that's all. And now as more and more teams understand that go out, become a part of a society. That is really built up in China.
So we're coming up on the Chinese New Year, which is the year of the monkey.
Yes.
Yes, so we would like to say Happy New Year.
Any one of you born in the year of the monkey? That should be either next year or be 36. I'm sure not.
Won't you be 36 next year?
I'm 36
okay.
next year. Or 48, or 60. Every 12 years that's a
60. I'm a year of the monkey guy.
As a Chinese tradition that you have to wear the red underwear all year long. All red socks. That'll make it easier.
Oh, red socks I could do. Clipper red especially.
Happy New Year. Coming up next on Inside the Boardroom. The second time you guys played, you had 35 points, 11 rebounds, played 50 minutes, and had 10 of the 12 points scored in overtime.
Did we win?
You won.
Ooh. So we were 1-1.
You're 1-1.
You want to check and see what we did with the Clippers back in those days?
The answer is I don't want to know. I'm looking forward here.
I love it.
You looking forward to the opportunity playing against Michael Jordan for the last time?
这是最后一次，你很喜欢最后一次对抗 Michael Jordan 吗？
我不希望最后一次对抗。
I hope it's not the last time.
You guys played against each other. So what do you remember about your head-to-head meetings? Start with you, Yao.
That is not really head-to-head.
Team to team.
Okay. That's my rookie year, actually. I have a chance to play against Michael. Actually, that is again my first time I had a starter position.
So Yao Ming gets his first start of his career in the NBA.
So let me set that record straight. You guys played 2 career games, right? Houston defeated Washington the first time, 93-86. Yao had 18 points and 8 rebounds.
Taking it inside on Leitner. Turning, firing, hitting.
Now, the second time you guys played, you had 35 points, 11 rebounds, played 50 minutes, and had 10 of the 12 points scored in overtime.
Didn't I read somewhere where they said he lost a step and couldn't jump quite as high?
Did we win?
You won.
Ooh. So we were 1-1.
You're 1-1.
That's how it should be, right? That's how it should be.
You're 1-1. Just leave it at that.
You want to check and see what we did with the Clippers back in those days?
Reggie Williams spins into the front court. Jordan steals. Michael Jordan the drive. In on Danny Manning. 2 hands in.
The answer is I don't want to know. I'm looking forward here.
I love it.
I think Michael's the greatest player to ever play the game basketball, and I'm fortunate to be able to watch.
Shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it! They win it!
Get your highlight reels rolling. Number 23's in the house and has gone to work.
When he gets in that zone, there's no way you can stop him. He's the greatest of all time.
Yao did change the game. I mean, you know, a big man who could play like that, it was incredible.
Yao Ming baseline. Got him. Yao Ming. That's Akeem Olajuwon stuff.
He's probably, for a guy his size, the best athlete I've ever seen with the most skills.
Yao takes it to the middle and slams it home.
Marquee guys who stay long-term. He's a bull. He's a rocket. There's no question. In a sense, that's so cool because the fans can get completely worked up. People know that's where the real culture comes from on the team. It's going to come from whoever the lead players are. So for me as a fan, I mean, as a fan, I'm sitting here in heaven.
He changed the game. I mean, when you think about all the great players that came over to play and establish themselves in the NBA, he's probably one of the best.
You know, you have a chance to participate against greatness.
Oh, yowza, yowza, yowza!
In terms of playing against someone, you know, where you had an opportunity to affect his love for the game, it's a great privilege. And it's truly a respect that you were able to influence him to where he loves the game of basketball as much as you love the game of basketball.
It is just absolutely fabulous the way basketball has affected global society. It's just beautiful when that comes together. That's shown by the three people that are sitting here today. Yao from China, from Detroit, from North Carolina. Unbelievable how basketball has made its way around the world. It's a nice thing.
It is, and it's going to only get bigger. As you see, the talent is starting to become so good.
The future of the NBA, I think, is in good hands, don't
It's
you?
in great hands, which is beautiful. You tend to watch when you don't know what to expect. As we continue to get more talent in our league, the viewership is going to have a tendency to watch more often because they don't know who's going to win.
The greatest show in sports keeps getting renewed.
Yeah, that's the beauty of sports. There's no script. There's no script at all. There was a script during this, and I'm done with it now. So I guess we're done with it. Yeah, I think we're through. Thank you. Thanks for watching Inside the Boardroom.